Welcome to Someone's Happy Hour. Today is September 13th, episode 40. We've got an awesome show in store for you guys. Today, we're talking how the workplace is shown in TV and movies versus what it's actually like. We get into our segments and then we wrap it up with our 5v5 of jobs we wish we had.
Yeah, definitely. This is a weird one today, I would say, just because I've never really thought of like comparing my life to, well, my office life to a movie. And it's funny to kind of like reflect on that and then like also think back to like what how office life is portrayed in movies and TV shows nowadays, whether it's funny, boring, stressful, whatever that may be. And then either hits the nail on the head or we see how far away we are from what we
Yeah.
see at Hollywood.
Well, yeah, and I mean we'll get into this, but it's funny because I think when you're growing up, like I mean it's kind of appropriate that we have the 5v5 what it is because it's a lot of times, at least for me when I'm going through this, is like when I was a kid, like this is what you might want to do or whatever. Um and that's like when you're growing up, or maybe this is your perception of what an office actually is like. And then
Yeah.
now that we're in it, it's like, oh, so it's not all fun all the time, not all fun and games.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely think there's some rude awakenings and there's also some happy surprises. So,
Yeah, exactly. But before we get into that, I think we can get into our morning stand up. So, what did you have going on this past week?
yeah, definitely. So, I think I found out I am the Colorado Rockies good luck charm because the past two times I've gone, they've won. And the first was against the Cardinals and the second was against the Giants. So,
Which the Giants
it's
one is like, I mean,
it's pretty
Cardinals too, I
crazy.
guess, but the Giants are like, that's impressive because
At
they're
least I'm
like,
pretty sure they won. I think they did, but I left at like the ninth inning and they were
yeah,
winning. But
yeah, that's,
so it's been pretty crazy. It was pretty nice though. It was a company event. We got to leave work half day and then we all got over there, you know, free drinks and food. So I had a couple beers and a hot dog on the company dime. So that's always fun.
oh yeah,
Good team bonding. I feel like what's always funny though is I feel like for corporate events like at a ball game, I feel like I follow the crowd more often than like my interests. So none of them really cared to like sit and like watch the game
mhm.
live. Like they all wanted to sit around a table around the by the bar and like
Oh, and
watch the
like watch
TV.
on the,
And
yeah,
like I
yeah,
was completely fine with that. Like it was kind of hot, so like I'm all right with like not being in the sun. But like at some point I was like, dang, I feel like I should be watching this game. Like the Rockies are doing pretty good. So I was like, oh, it's all right. And like I'm not gonna go against the grain and be like the only one standing
yeah,
over there while everyone's sitting at the table. So it's
yeah.
just funny things like that.
It's definitely one of those things where like you're there for like the corporate outing piece, so you're like, okay, I guess like it'd be kind of weird if I go off by myself and I'm just like over there like hardcore rooting like let's go
Yeah.
Rockies, and everyone else is like, dude, what is
Yeah.
Tyler doing?
Nah, it's definitely still a very fun experience, and I
Oh yeah, yeah,
always will do that. 10 out of 10 every time. Uh the second thing I have is like just happy hours. So I feel like more so often than not, I've been exploring more of Denver, thankfully, with Nancy and some of her friends out here, and then of course some of work friends and things like that. And it's been a good time. And then just finding a lot of places that like are very unique with a unique view or a unique like style and vibe that like,
mm,
there are happy hour places and I'm sure there's lots of fun places everywhere, but it's cool to find niche places.
yeah,
And definitely when you and Kyle and Mauricio and anyone else that comes out here again, like I have some places that like is on the like mark already. Like it's gonna be like
hell
pretty
yeah.
much like we're at like spring break or something.
I'm fucking stoked. Sign
Yeah,
me
it's a
up for
lot of
that.
fun play. It's just like this place we went to called Number 38 was a lot of fun. It's kind of like I guess more like younger person crowd, but like it's still like a lot of fun. So
Yeah, absolutely, that's awesome. Yeah, no, that
and
a
it's
lot
funny
of,
to say that I say a younger person crowd, but it's like you can clearly tell people are like 21, 22. It's not
yeah,
like
yeah, no, we're definitely getting to the younger person crowd.
yeah, it's hilarious.
It's Carter just had, my youngest brother just had his he turned 17 yesterday, and I swear to God, I, with all my siblings getting older, with being the oldest, I like feel so old. So we are
Yeah.
definitely starting to be like the older crowd because these are starting to be like young adults like getting into like professional world, and I'm like, this is not okay.
Yeah, that is
We're
very
like
true.
the becoming like the fucking veteran, like vets out here, like we've been out here for a long time, and We're just old. It's not good.
Yeah, but no, so it was a very fun week with that. So, but how about
Yeah.
you? How was your week?
Yeah, no, it was good. So like I mentioned, it was my brother's birthday yesterday. So one of the things we did was we went and went golfing for the like 18 holes. So that was fun. Well, the way I wrote it in our notes is very accurate. It's a my love hate relationship with golf is in full swing. So it's
Mhm.
one of those things where like we've talked about golf a lot on this podcast. So I won't get too into it because I'm basically gonna be repeating myself. But it's one of those things where there were moments where I'm like, I never want to golf again, and this is the worst. And I'm just so bad at golf that I don't even know why I'm trying. And then I'll get one hit, and I'm like, dude, I'm just a few things away. I just need to tweak a couple things, and I'm gonna be like sub 100 every time. And it's just so
Yeah,
like it's just
sign
this
me up for
never
the
ending
U.S. Open.
cycle, where I'm like, wow, I'm surprised I can even swing a club, to the next second it's like, you know what, a few things, and like maybe I'll just do this full time. It's like it's just so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a love-hate relationship. It was fun, but I definitely need to like, and this is the one drawback of being like in downtown Chicago, because there's not like courses immediately near me. It's like 30 minutes away, and obviously like I sold my car and stuff, so that does make it super convenient. um but it's like I want to be able to like golf
So,
like
did you
all the
walk with
time.
your clubs to the train to go
No,
back?
no, no, no. My clubs were I have, well actually no, I haven't done that. I wasn't planning on it. But what I ended up like, my clubs were just back in the burbs. So like that's
Oh,
where they
okay.
were. But what I have done is, so I have like a travel case that I can put my clubs in. And I base anytime I've only done it once, I think, because otherwise I've just kept my clubs in the burbs, because that's usually where I'm going golfing.
Yeah,
But
not like the city.
yeah, exactly. But what I've done is I literally will have my travel thing of like club, or like the clubs, and then I'll just have like an Uber instead of like, even though it's just 10-minute walk, like I don't want to walk with that big ass thing.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
it
I
was it
wouldn't
was
either.
funny though, because so it's like this big black bag that covers the top of the club, so that way like the clubs aren't exposed, like all that stuff. It's meant for like traveling. And it was hilarious because, and I don't think I mentioned this on here because I kind of forgot about it until you just mentioned that. But it was funny because when I did do it that one day where I took it out in an Uber, brought it onto the train, took the train out to the burbs. It was kind of a pain, but like it was worth it because I was able to go golfing, obviously. But the
Yeah.
funny thing is, as I was going down the elevator in my apartment building, someone's like, "Do you play the trombone?" I was like, "No, these are golf clubs." They thought I was like going to like some like recital or playing some
Orchestra.
instrument. I was like,
Be like an
"Damn."
interesting person of the city, but in reality, you're just a basic
Yeah,
white
they're
guy.
like, "Dang, dude, you're very cultured." I'm like, "Literally, I'm just about to go golfing." So not really.
The least cultured thing out here. So
Yeah,
sorry.
just another white dude with his clubs going out golfing on a weekend. But it was hilarious. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, there's that. And then the other thing that I think is just exciting is continuing to put more PTO on the calendar. So like one of the things we've got coming up in November is one of the things we've officially got like booked. Like I think we've pretty much gotten everything officially scheduled or booked, or whatever you want to call it. And we're ready to go to Pacific Northwest first week in November. So check out Seattle and Portland, and we'll have a lot of good stuff to talk about, I'm sure, when we go. So I'm excited. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. I know my cousin lives out there, and I know he said that he'd be down to like get shows around in Portland and stuff like that. Depending, the schedules match up and
Oh
things like
yeah,
that.
I'm
But that'd
down.
be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Does your cousin like coffee?
I'm sure I haven't really like gone out and asked them specifically,
Yeah, I
but
was gonna
I
say like I really want to know like the go-to coffee shops, because
yeah, I think he
Portland's
lives
supposed
like
to
a
be all
little
about that.
outside of Portland, but I don't think it's like a big deal to like
Oh
drive
yeah,
in. But
I'm
yeah,
just
no, it should be a
curious
good time.
because
He's
that's
a
one of the
huge Packers fan though. So
uh
he's from Wisconsin.
we should
But
we
he
should
loves the
talk
Bulls
about.
though.
Oh, there we go. We can relate on that. The Packers. I mean, I'd be
And the
happy. I could
Detroit
talk.
Tigers, I think, is his baseball team. Very
Okay,
random.
all right.
Very
That's that's
northern
one that
division, but
that's one that he could butt heads with Kyle on, because they're a rival of the Sox. But no, the Packers. I mean, I'd gladly, if he wants to recap the Week 1 game, dude. I'll do
yeah.
that all
Oh
day.
yeah.
38-3. You want to talk about it, dude? That was wild. Now,
Yeah.
granted, by the time we go, they're going to play like what, like quite a few more games, like probably 5 or 6 more games before we like see them. But who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll go 0-6. That'd be great, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure that conversation would be flowing now.
Yeah,
But
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
it's
We
always a
don't have
good
much
time.
ground to stand on as Bears fans, though, so it is
Hmm.
what it is. But
That's
yeah,
very true.
yeah. But getting in, I guess we can get into our main topic then, kind of relating, uh, or kind of just talking a little bit about how is the office space or work or whatever you want to call it kind of portrayed in movies, TV shows, stuff like that, and then kind of translating that to okay, like that's how it's portrayed and it looks great, but then how is it in real life? So what
Yeah.
did you think, or I guess no, go ahead, you were about to.
No, yeah, yeah. It's just kind of like kind of the basis of just the overall comparisons that we've noticed and found funny or that are wrong or very similar of office life in work or in movies and TV shows or now. And pretty much what I like based my like thought process on for a lot of this topic was like kind of like a timeline of like initially when I was younger, what did I think of like corporate office
Yeah,
lifestyle? And I guess it always came down to like one word, and that was like boring.
yeah,
And that's like me not knowing anything about what anyone does in any kind of office setting other than like salesperson, I guess was like the only thing I knew. But like just from like what you see on like TV or what you see on movies, like the one thing that always comes to my mind when I think of like TV shows and office culture, this thing that just pops in my mind. I don't know why. It's the SpongeBob reference where that guy's sitting in traffic, sitting at
oh
his
yeah, yeah,
desk, sitting in traffic, and then like staring out his window. And like that, like always reminds me of like that's like your corporate lifestyle. And it's like coming to bed, honey. He's like, yes, dear. And like boring, like just a boring lifestyle.
yeah. No, it's yeah, I don't know, it's funny because I think I yeah, I don't know. I would say like because my dad, I mean, he still works in corporate America, although he's at a smaller company now. But growing up, we had like I don't remember what time of year it was, but it was like one day like bring a kid to work day, and I was
Birthday.
like, this is like the coolest thing. I'd like go in, I'm like, dang, you have like your own cube, and I'm like, this is so great. Like, and then like you go to the cafeteria, and I'm like, dang, look at all these options. Like this isn't like the cafeteria at school. I'm like, this is sick. So it's funny because like you'd have those, but like I also like was so little that I had no idea what was going on. And now looking at that, I'm like, that literally is like if I were to be going into the office, that's literally what I'd be going into. And it's
Yeah.
not that exciting. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I was just very like at least I guess this isn't necessarily yet relating to like TV show or something I saw on TV, but like at least that piece I was very very naive. Like growing up, I was like, oh dude, this looks sick. Like you just go off, chill in your cube, have a good time. Like the other thing, the other thing is like on these bring your kid to work days, like my dad's obviously like trying to get shit done, and so he's trying to keep us preoccupied. So I think my idea was like, it's like this is sick. You have a little basketball hoop in your thing. So me and Andy are just chilling, throwing the ball in the
Yeah.
hoop. We're like
Office
playing
stories.
games, doing all this stuff. I'm like walking around the office. I'm like, dude, this was what work is. Sign me up. Like I'm there.
Yeah.
But obviously not in actuality. But yeah, no, that was my growing up, at least the very initial like, dude, office life is pretty lit.
Yeah. Yeah. Two very, very different beginnings of what we thought office life would be. Cause literally, I remember saying to myself, I'm like, dang, if I'm ever caught behind a desk as my job, as my career, I'll probably like end myself. I'm like, oh no. And then here we are
Here we
behind a
are.
desk. But
Yeah.
like, you know, you grow up and you realize things. But one thing I also want to mention is kind of like the one thing I knew from TV shows and movies, and I think this was from what was the show? Like that my parents watched. It was like the Drew Carey show or something like that, or it was
Mhm.
something with Drew Carey, and it was like them like having those like like from what I could tell when I was little, boring conversations, you know, of like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
hey, how's the kids? How are you? You know, and then like talking about other stuff or Office Space where they're like talking about the most boring reports or the whatever that they need done by Saturday. And always in high school, I'd always make fun of that with one of my friends. And we'd always like, anytime we were in practice for like cross country or track, we'd always talk like that.
Mhm.
So I'd just be like water cooler talk, you know, like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
how's
yeah,
the
yeah.
kids? And then we'd make up these elaborate stories of like, yeah, well, it was Jerry's third birthday. We got the slip and slide out. We had the local
That's
kids come over and like
hilarious.
just start going off on like this tangent. And like, that's what I was like, oh, that's what I'm looking forward to. And then it's funny because it really is.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious because I think one of the things that's consistent from, I mean, obviously, like no one wants to watch a TV show of people just sitting at their desk actually doing work. So like I think the epitome of what is shown on like TV shows, movies, I'd say especially movies when like work isn't the main premise of the movie, but it's like showing cutting scenes of someone at work. It's literally like a physical like water cooler and people are just walking and talking right around it. Like that
Yeah.
is like the like that is the workplace. Like that is what it is. And it's funny because like now actually being in like in the workplace, like yeah, like it's nice when you can like catch up and talk to people, but we've also talked about how one of the things that's nice when you're working at home is like you don't have to worry about like getting distracted or people like coming to you and just talking to you and you're like I really got to get something done. And it's just funny because the part that's depicted in like shows and movies and stuff is just the component where there's people not actually doing their job.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's because no one wants to watch people do their job.
Yeah,
But
it'd
yeah,
be
I think
boring.
just growing up, it was more just this big sense of like boring, and that's the thing I'll probably have to stick with, just because like there's the other than pranks was like the one
Yeah,
thing that like you saw that would happen, like The Office
yeah,
or
exactly.
How I
I
Met Your Mother, and they're like random work scenes that do something goofy or like
mm,
drink beers on the roof or something like that. It's like, things that like probably would not fly in
yeah,
the real office
exactly,
setting, but
exactly. No, I think that was like the other thing I was thinking
trying to
of is
find
like
ways to spend your time.
just like random I think shenanigans is a good word to use to describe it. Is just like, and specifically with like Office and How I Met Your Mother, it's like these constant just like hijinks or whatever you want to call it that they're just doing that like you would never be able to necessarily pull off in an actual office setting. Like I'm
Yeah.
thinking of stuff like uh specifically with How I Met Your Mother. There's that one episode where I think Barney was in a fight with someone at the company, or like I don't know if it was this, I think it was the same company, but he could see him from his window and he's like calling him, telling him what he's doing to like different things in his office. Because like
Yeah.
do you recall this? I think there was one where he was like he took his sandwich and put it in his pants or something, and then like
Yeah.
he let the guy know, called him as he was eating
And
his
he like
sandwich for
throws
lunch.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like things like that that like I don't know,
Yeah.
it
It's like
makes
something
you
across the street or something like that, because he was
yeah, I
like
was trying to
had
remember like
binoculars.
why can he see him out his window, but uh
Yeah.
that was hilarious. Or like obviously in the office there's nonstop stuff between like Jim and Dwight and everyone. So
Yeah.
um I mean, obviously, again, in like TV shows and stuff, they're going to show the funny stuff because that's what is going to bring people back. Like that's what they want to see. It
Mm.
is interesting though that like I feel like what I was saying earlier is like one of the things that I think is pretty constant with like at least I mean I guess not Office Space, but like a lot of movies and stuff is like it doesn't like really revolve around work or the office. But like there was an entire, I mean, what was it, 9 seasons of The Office where like I'd say 80% of the show you're literally in an office building, which is pretty like impressive that like you could somehow come up with enough content to make it enjoyable watch for people to just like watch people sitting in an office.
Yeah. That is very true. It has to. They have to really. I think they do it well with breaking it up with their like cutaway scenes and like the
Yeah,
one on
yeah.
one with the camera and stuff like that. Because it's like the people like their reactions is like how you can like make it well. Because you probably had that reaction in the office at that moment, but you can obviously you're professional and you can't show it
Yeah.
or say it.
Yeah, yeah.
So like you have a chance to really vent that. So I think that's a
Yeah.
good. It does it very well, obviously.
Absolutely. So now being obviously very well acclimated to what it is actually like, now that we're both
Yeah, 2 years in,
unfortunately over
2.5 years in,
almost 2.5 years
very well
in.
acclimated. Yeah,
Yeah,
still
very
got
well acclimated.
still
What
on the
what are some
upslope.
it's yeah, it's so sad. I feel like each of these last few episodes we're just like constantly just realizing our age, which is gross. But
Yeah,
what are some of the differences that you'd say like stick out to you as like when you're watching like shows, movies, what have you about The Office, and you're like, this is like a common theme or common thing that's happening, and then like your action in the workplace, and you're like, that never happens, or like that's something that I would never see in a day-to-day setting.
yeah. I would say more so often. There's pranks, I would say, or like little shenanigans that happen, but I wouldn't say there's anything to like the level of that like we see in like TV shows or like movies. Cause like there's probably someone might like put a post-it note somewhere and say like, I don't know, something goofy or some inside joke, but like that's probably like the like most, well, at least for me, it's been the most intense for
Uh,
how things are. I think another thing for me that like doesn't really equate is like all that time that people have to like goof around or do stuff.
yeah,
Cause
true.
I feel like for me, dude, I have like no time to goof around and do stuff when like I'm in the office, or like maybe I just like have a different mindset where I'm like, I
Like
have
you
to be
want to get your
working. If
shit
I'm not
done. Yeah.
working, like, because obviously remote work is like different because you like look at your phone for like a minute and like next thing you know, it's like 30 minutes. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But regardless, yeah, it's just like that goofing around aspect of like being in the office. I'm like, I feel like everyone's like, everyone's grinding away, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
well, better stay with the crowd.
Yeah, exactly. I think one funny, like, and I just like thought of this out of a whim right now. One of the things that I just thought of, and who knows, maybe like obviously like maybe if you work at some place for like 20 plus years, you get to know people's like you might get to know like your manager's husband or wife or like all things like that. But I think one of the funny things when you think of like movies, TV shows, like off the top of my head, I'm thinking of like How I Met Your Mother, Friends, different shows that I've watched, and like they'll people will bring like members of their like family or like people from their personal life just into the office, and
Oh
I'm like
yeah.
that like never happens. Like I've
I
never
wish I
like
could do that. That'd be
yeah,
pretty
no,
cool. Everyone
exactly.
could
It's like
experience the office.
yeah, but it's just kind of funny because I'm like, that like never happens. Like I'm never in the office and it's like, oh, I just brought my like husband or wife
Significant other
today.
lunch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like that never happens. Like I know I talked a little bit about like obviously the bring a kid to work day, and I don't know if that might have
I
kind of
feel like that doesn't even happen anymore.
phased out. Yeah, I don't know because I have not heard of that since I went to did that when I was little. But um like I guess that aside, which like I guess might have been a thing, at least at one point. Um that's not something that happens. Like you don't just see people bringing random members of their family or just friends. Like oh, if you think of shows like How I Met Your Mother, when like Barney's just bringing Ted into his office, that'd be like me being like, hey Tyler, you want to come with me to my company today and we're just gonna chill in the office, or like vice versa, like I come to you and it's like,
Yeah,
oh
or
dude.
like I have something I really need to talk to you about, so I go visit you at work. Like there'd be no way. Like I can be like, oh, I need to go see Jason K. Like, can you show me where his desk is? And then like they'd
I'd
be
be
like,
like, well, what the
no.
fuck are you doing? First of all, you got to swipe in, so I don't know how you're getting in.
I
But
think it's
second,
like mostly due to
oh
security
man,
reasons nowadays, like
yeah,
especially everything that's happened with like,
yeah, yeah.
bad stuff. So like I feel like they really tightened it up. They had to like have scheduled appointments or something.
Yeah, but it's just so funny to like think back and be like, or not think back, but like think when you're watching that. And that's one of the things I just thought of is like when they're pulling a lot of these pranks, it's because they're like, or at least in How I Met Your Mother, like Ted or oh my god, I'm blanking on his name because I haven't seen it in so long.
Marshall.
Thank you, Jesus Christ. Marshall, like Barney has them in the office, and it's just so.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Marshall eventually worked there.
Lily comes
Spoiler
in.
alert. But it's just yeah, like Lily will come in. Like it's just so
Yeah.
funny because it's like you're doing all these pranks with your friends in your office. I'm like, I don't see a scenario unless we at some point are working together at the same company where I will ever be in your office, vice versa, or like we'll go to Kyle's and be like, dude, what's up? How's it going?
Yeah. To me, it's like like, okay, hey, like me popping into your office and be like, oh, you ready to go get lunch? It's like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
no, what the fuck? That doesn't
Like
happen. Like,
no, that's pretty funny. So
like
okay, that
you like meet at the place. You don't like,
yeah, it's exactly. It's more like out like oh like Kyle works out here in the city. So if he's out in the city, it'd be like, yeah, let's try to make plans to grab lunch. But
yeah,
it's not like I walk in and be like, you ready to go? Like, what are we doing? And Kyle will be like, how did you get in here?
yeah, literally.
um, but okay, so I got those are differences. But what would you say are some similarities that you've seen? Might be a little harder to come up with because I feel like a lot of these shows, obviously,
Glorify and show like the
yeah, it shows a
opposite
night.
part of the
Yeah, yeah,
office.
yeah.
But I would say what is funny is kind of like the break rooms are kind of very it's like spot on, or like eating at your
Oh,
desk.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I've noticed that like a lot of the break rooms and a lot of like just like the way people like, I don't know if this is getting like way too in the weeds, but like
No, bring it.
The way people like their mannerisms in the show, like how they're
Yeah,
eating lunch, what they're doing, like Tupperware, like how they
that
have
is
things,
true.
like the way you walk into a break room and someone's eating lunch, it's like
Yeah.
pretty spot on.
The
And like
Office
that is
does that
very
really
in the
well.
details, but
No, The Office does that really well where they have the kitchen area and there'll be just like three. And like the other thing is like talking to that is like, it'll sometimes just be like three random people, just be like people who you like
and
knowing
sitting
the
at like
cast.
random tables, they won't
Yeah,
even be sitting
exactly.
together.
Yeah, or yeah, they'll be sitting in the break room and
Yeah.
it's like we're not
It's
sitting at the same table. It's like, yeah, which is normal. Like it's not like oh we're all one like big happy family, like let's all sit at the table. It's like no, you're gonna sit by people either who you're comfortable with, or maybe it's just like, you know what, I want to just chill and
yeah,
be
you
by
just want your alone
myself,
space.
which is honestly like
Yeah.
probably like you like unless I'm like going to a meeting where we're all like bringing lunch, like my preference, I'm like I'm cool with just like I'll just eat lunch by myself, like I don't care, just then I'll keep working and I don't like have to stop, and then I can like maybe get home sooner or if I'm in the office or things like that. But yeah, that's so funny. That's a really good one where it's like no, that's pretty much the same.
Plus, I feel like everyone interacts with the printer the same as like movies. Like, oh, what? It's not working. Is it
Yeah,
a jam? And
true.
then like other people come over to try to help, or like don't try to help, or like oh, the printer's broken or something like that. That's always like it's like why, dude? Why do printers have to be so complicated? Why can't we just hit print and it prints? Like,
Yeah. I will say another thing that I think and I think I mean I think this is like just pretty common like with just like especially like traditional companies where there's like a hierarchy and there's a lot of like okay if like a head honcho is coming into, I'm thinking there's a specific scenario I'm thinking of during one of my rotations in my program. I'm not talking about my current role, but where like basically, and I'm thinking of like the office where like they might have found out like Jan's coming in the office, or they found out that like I haven't seen these shows in a long time and I can't think of the names on the spot, but like the CFO is coming in the office and like it's like full blown panic mode and everyone's like freaking out like okay, we got to get ready for this, got to get ready for this. And like Michael's like running around
yeah,
like a crazy person. Like it's kind obviously it's not to the craziness extent. It's like I'm not saying anyone who I've worked with has been like the Michael Scott character per se, but it's funny because there
the
are those
anxiety.
instances of anxiety where people are like tomorrow maybe the VP of one of the groups is like coming to visit and it's full blown panic. Like we got to make sure we're all in like top of the line. Everyone show up at this time. Make sure you're in the room at this time. Like we want to make sure that they come here, we go around, everyone introduces themselves. I'm like, this is insane. Like they're just a person. Like I think that's one of the things that for me, like good or bad, like with like corporate America, I'm like at the end of the day, like I understand and appreciate that you might be like higher up in the company, but like I'm not about to like bow down and kiss your feet like you're some like king or queen. Like this is like you're still a person at the end of the day. But like that's
Yeah,
something that I think they like dramatize it a little bit in the shows, but like to an extent there still exists that in the workplace, like actually where there's like this high level of anxiety whenever anyone in a certain leadership role like comes in. I think
yeah,
that's like kind of common.
yeah. No, I would agree with that. I would say like a lot of people do freak out about it. And even when I worked at like not office cultures, like, like Panda, McDonald's,
Yeah.
Best Buy, when there's someone like visiting, it's like, all hands on deck. We got to like get this
Oh
shit in
yeah,
shape. And it's like, we've been in shape this whole entire time. Like, don't worry.
exactly. Oh yeah, it's like oh, time to clean every single aspect of like the concession stand. It's like they're literally not going to be back here. Like what are like why am I cleaning the popcorn machine? They're not going to
Yeah.
be, the
Why am I
general
cleaning the
manager of
ceiling?
Regal is not walking in here and being like there's some oil there. Like they're not doing that. Like what do you mean? Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So no, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, definitely. I think going forward, though, we could probably move to like, what do we think probably is like the most or the TV show or movie that we like hope for the most when we were like entering the workforce? Because this was pretty. I was thinking about this beforehand. I was like, and this maybe just because like from what I saw later on, but there's like the movies like The Social Network
Uh-huh.
or uh not I guess not that what the movie's about, but the office he has in Paranoia with like Liam Hemsworth is like that modern, sleek, like cool
Mm,
looking office that like open plan, no cubicles, like everyone's
yeah.
kind of chilling. Or what is it? Oh man, I'm forgetting it now. Have you seen the movie 500 Days of Summer?
Who's in it? I might not.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Zoe Deschanel.
I don't know that I have.
Oh, he works for like this like greeting card company and like making things, and they all have like their headphones on, and they're like it's like the where you're at a table and the other person's on the other side of you, and they have their computer and they're at the table.
Yeah.
There's no like walls or anything, but like they have like it's like Macs everywhere, and they have like post-it
Yeah.
notes everywhere and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, that office would be like sick to work
Yeah.
at.
Speaking of cool offices, have you seen Silicon Valley? It's
No,
on HBO. So like obviously it depicts Silicon Valley, but it's a comedy on HBO and it's hilarious. And I think being like I might like, and I think you'd be the same way. Like I think we might enjoy it maybe more than a. I'm not to say a typical person maybe wouldn't like it, but maybe like certain things where they're talking about like stuff in Silicon Valley that are more businessy. Maybe people would be like, "Oh, that's kind of boring." But I thought it was kind of funny or interesting. But it's purely a comedy with a lot of funny guys in it. But um, it's one of those things where like that's like the startup like obviously they run into a bunch of different things. It's a TV show, but like that startup environment and like once they make it big, like it's like a playground. Like their place that they work, I'm like, this is insane. It's literally
yeah,
like a Google. Actually, they have a place in the show called Hooli that is basically Google, and it's literally like a playground. Like it's a
yeah,
joke. Like they poke fun at like kind of what Google is, where it's like you can walk around and you can just get free food all the time. You have nap pods. You have like all this crazy stuff that I'm like, that's insane. When I look at my work environment, I was like, we
yeah.
literally have cubes and we have like everything is just brick. Like there's nothing exciting about like there's not like a very stimulating
Well,
environment.
I do
So
like the
it's
like old like the loft kind of building that like is like a brick wall with big windows.
oh yeah, no.
That
So I
like
will
old style
say,
building that's like
so I
open
do
floor plan.
too.
That's pretty sick.
So I do too. When I referred to brick, and this, I mean, obviously, there's people who listen
Like
to this who
cinder.
know. There's people who listen to this. Yeah, there's people who listen to this who know where I work, and if you don't, and you might get figured out based on what I'm about to say. But where I work, they have a huge campus, and it's just all brick buildings, and they all look the same. And I'm not saying like it's all cool brick interior and stuff because I'm all about that. Like I think like that
Yeah.
is a really stimulating environment. You could have some greenery, you can have all this cool stuff. It's literally all these brick buildings that look the same and it makes you like want to lose your mind. It's like
Yeah.
that like it's just not a stimulating thing to look at. And yeah, it just makes me feel like like you're kind of like trapped on a it's oh you know what, great example. If you think of like a very like almost like a boring looking college campus, like that's kind of like the what I'm trying to describe is like everything looks exactly the same, not in the cool like oh this has been around for like however long, it's like super cool architecture way.
Yeah.
It's like oh they ran out of options and they just decided that brick was the cheapest option and we're just going to use brick everywhere.
Yeah. This the 80s copy paste like
Yeah,
tan
exactly,
brick buildings.
exactly,
It's like nice. Thank you.
exactly. But in terms of I don't know, in terms of the movie TV show I hoped for, like I guess like from the office layout standpoint, obviously that startup environment would be kind of cool. But like, I mean, it's probably still I don't know. I'd have to think about it because I've been watching some really good TV shows lately. But The Office is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I think to a certain extent, I would say that would be a really cool environment just from the standpoint of like it's a close knit group and the fact that you are it's like a pretty relaxed environment. I think I like obviously dealing with someone like a Michael or a Dwight would be insane. And I know we've talked I think Emma had asked that question about like Dwight or Angela on our Q&A episode a few episodes ago. But um yeah, I think that would obviously get kind of crazy. But I think the standpoint of like if I'm being like realistic and like what would be a realistic environment that you'd like to work in, I think an environment where you get along well with the people, maybe like you obviously still have friends outside of work, but like you could become friends with the people you work with. Like I think that
Mhm.
would be a really um cool environment. So I think that's what I'll say at least from
Yeah,
my
no.
standpoint.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess like what is the office most like now? Like is there a TV show or a movie that like like reminds you of like whenever you go in or something like that?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm trying to think. There's like one, because like I feel like I'm fortunate now because I think my team's like super chill, super laid back. Everyone gets along well. It's I'm very happy with that. I will say that there's been other teams I've been on previous to this where like the to a certain extent, I won't say to the same extent as How I Met Your Mother, but you know how in How I Met Your Mother, I know we keep using the kind of some of the same examples, but like there's kind of a very cutthroat like mentality where it's like not from Barney, but like I think it was like Barney's higher ups were like this is like I think it was when they were doing the figuring out the architecture for the building. Like it was very like they
Yeah.
were very direct, very
Serious.
demanding, and very serious. There's an environment that I would say I was in earlier that wasn't necessarily directed toward me, but like people were like, I was like, this is kind of it
Oh
was
yeah. At my
where
previous job, that's how I was like too. It's like
it's
no,
like
like all the fun is like sucked out.
yeah,
It's like
exactly. It's like
nice.
that's where like when you look at this and you're like, it is not like the TV show. Like like
Yeah.
it is not at all. Or I guess in this sense it's like the TV show, but it's like it's not like the fun side of the TV show. It's like not why you watch. Like you don't
Yeah.
watch How I Met Your Mother to watch like people get berated in that office. Like
Yeah. No,
if that was
definitely.
it, like it's just you don't. That's not why you want to watch. It's just that's a turn off for anyone. So obviously it's not going to be enjoyable in an actual environment, but yeah, it takes all the fun out of it. Nobody wants to be there. It's a pain in the ass. Yeah, I don't know. I'd say like off the top of my head, like that's what I. But obviously not. I wouldn't say that's my definitely not my current team because very thankful in that respect. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to compare something, especially since my current role I've been so remote.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
That's what I was just thinking about too. I was like, it's kind of hard to relate that because like
yeah,
we haven't
like I
really
don't
been in the
know.
office full swing.
Yeah, I will say like I mean the few times I'm actually going to back to Minnesota a week from today. Um, but I'd say when I've been out there, like I've it's been cool because I mean you do have like we're talking about the water cooler sort of thing. Like you have that like small talk just randomly, like you're able to like joke with your teammate, like people on the team and all that stuff. Where like I mean I've like I still joke with like people on my team over like we use Teams and I'll still do that. But it's funny because sometimes I like will say something and they'll be like, okay, you're joking, right? I was like, yeah, no, I'm joking. Like you like because it doesn't always like it's hard to like because I like to be sarcastic sometimes. And so if I say something sarcastically, it doesn't always translate if it's over Teams. So that's one of those things where it's like, oh no, like I am joking just to clarify. But yeah, so it's pretty funny. But I
Yeah.
don't know.
No.
Is there a show that when you look at your space, and I know we said it's a little tough with being remote, but is there something where like when you've at least been in your office a little bit where you're like, oh, this is kind of like my current situation?
You know, it's really funny. I should have wrote it down, but there actually was, and it was only the only reason why is because they had a slide in their office, and my office has a slide.
That's
So like,
hilarious.
I forgot it was a movie, but like that's that's the one
Oh,
thing that like reminds me. But I can't remember for the life of me now, and I really should have wrote that down. But
the
that's what it reminds me of.
the only movie I can think of off the top of my head that would be like in a startup type environment, which based on your building that you showed us a while ago, like that's kind of what it looks like. The only movie I can think of is isn't it called like The Internship with Vince Vaughn? I don't that takes
Yeah,
place at Google though, so it's not necessarily the
that
same. I'm
might
not
be
saying
what I was thinking of, but I feel like it's not it, but I
yeah,
might
no,
be
there
the one I'm thinking of.
I'm sure there's others. There's gotta be.
Yeah.
So I guess okay, so that's like our current office. So is there a show or movie or anything like that where you look at it and you're like, dang, that's a pretty accurate representation of corporate life?
Yeah, I think I just always revert that the office space is like the like literally the that movie is like probably the epitome of everyone at the office. There's like the guy that listens, there's just probably me that listens to hardcore rap on the way in, and it's just like some nerdy white guy that is like coding or something or
Mm,
in finance. And then there's just like random boring people that like want to talk to you, or like there's random perky people on Mondays, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's just like a good generalization, and that's why the movie's so
Yeah.
good. But it is kind of getting outdated though, so like might be interesting to see like 20 or 10 years down the road to see what they if they like do a remake of what it would be like. But I feel like that's a pretty good representation of like corporate life, I would say,
Mhm.
in
So
particular.
so one thing I will admit, and it's probably not good considering we're doing this, is I actually haven't seen that. And it's funny because I literally was on a call with three people from my team on Friday, and there it's my manager, my manager's manager, and my manager's manager's manager. So like three levels up, and we're all on a call talking whatever. And they're older than me, and they were referencing Office Space, and like they're like, "Oh, Jason, you might be like too young for this." Da, da, da. And I was like, "Oh no, I've heard of it, and
That's
I keep
hilarious.
meaning to watch it, but I just haven't gotten across." And they're like, "You gotta watch it." So it's just funny that they told me that on Friday, and like we're obviously talking about this today, and you're referencing it. So now I like really gotta watch it because this is two references to it in like 3 days.
Yeah, no, you really do. It's a really good movie.
And
I need to watch it again too.
I've seen a lot of like memes and stuff from it. So I
Oh
definitely want
yeah,
to watch it.
chock full.
So I gotta check that out for sure. But yeah, I think
Yeah, I think that covers our topic
yeah.
there.
So I'm sure there's other shows. Obviously, like we had some where we kind of like
Or did you
took
answer that question? Do you have accurate representation
oh,
of
I guess I
corporate?
didn't. I don't know because like at least the ones I've thought of when it relates to this topic have been more kind of outlandish or at least outlandish in certain aspects. So I don't know if there's a show that relates. What the heck? I just thought of I was just thinking of I just thought of not for this question, but there was something I was thinking of that I just completely lost my train of thought and I'll probably think of it halfway through like our segments.
Yeah.
Um because that's just how it's gonna go. But God, why can't I think of the show I was thinking of? This is not good podcasting.
That's all right.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
We
I can't think of anything like specifically that ties that I would say,
into
oh, this is a
corporate America.
perfect, but
Yeah.
I'll take your word for Office Space. I gotta check that out.
All right. Sounds good. We can get rolling into our segments, and maybe if that idea pops back in your head, you can let
Yeah,
us
we might
know.
have a quick deviation.
Yeah. So we can go right into our deep dive, and you can go ahead and get us going with that.
Yes. So to get into our deep dive, let me get to the tab. So for those of you, I mean, I'm sure everyone listening is probably aware, at least to some extent, is football is back, which is super, super exciting. Maybe not so exciting if you're a Bears fan. We alluded to it. Maybe it's not so exciting if you're a Packers fan either. But yeah, so football's back. College football was in its second week. NFL just had its first week this past week. Um, I know I've alluded to it before. I am definitely an avid sports bettor. I will take breaks now and then just because, but like I will say, like during football season, well, okay, I got to take breaks just more so to for my own good to make sure that I can like I'm not addicted to it. Like I want to make sure like oh I can take breaks. This is good. I'm not relying on this. I'm not betting absorb like insurmountable amounts of money. I'm fine. So but anyways, when football season's around, like it's just such a fun thing to do. Makes games fun. When you get games right, it feels great. But so one of the things I was curious on is like, okay, so how much is like, I mean, I know betting's prevalent, but how prevalent is it? And it says, and this is insane because like when you think of like different industries and all that stuff, when we're talking about like from a business standpoint, it says this is just football and this is just the NFL. An estimated $100 billion is wagered at licensed sports books during the NFL season.
Yeah, I would
Like
assume.
that's
I
crazy. And it also predicts that for this 2021 season we're about to go into, the American Gaming Association predicts that more than 45.2 million Americans will bet on football in the NFL season, which is insane. Like the amount of money, like it just blows my mind. And like this is why, and I could talk about sports betting for forever, but like I'm shocked that it took so long for it to be legalized because the amount of money there is to be made on sports betting is insane. Like it's especially from a state's perspective because you can like tax that and all that stuff. So yeah,
yeah. I think the idea was just try to curb any behaviors that are not ideal that become addicting.
Yeah.
But if you can
Yeah.
do it healthy, if you can be healthy about it and not spend your whole paycheck and not, you
Yeah.
know,
No,
mess around with
definitely.
not paying rent or anything like that,
No,
then
yeah,
like
yeah,
more
yeah.
power to you.
Definitely bet within your means, be responsible. I definitely know that like that's something like I definitely make sure when I'm betting I do. I don't ever want to put something like, you know what, am I going to eat dinner today or am I going to like that's
But
not
dude,
something
this is a for sure thing.
like
I'll be eating
nah.
dinner for free for the next week.
Like be like dinner for today. I could have dinner for life. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, definitely bet within your means. But yeah, no, that's a fun thing out there, but obviously you want to be careful and there's different things. I think it's like 1-800 gamblers. So if you need that, the only reason I know that it's not because I've called, it's because I listen to sports podcasts and I know that off the top of my head. But
That's
yeah,
right.
this last 5 minute deep dive sounded like a call for help. And I promise you, I'm not addicted to sports betting. And I made sure of this by taking breaks. I haven't bet, I mean, I bet today, but like before football season, I like took, like, I hadn't placed a bet in like 2 months,
Oh,
which is
that's
pretty
actually
good.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't need, like, I could watch sports without doing it, but it's just something I like to do sometimes. And when you hit a bet, there's no better feeling. You feel like you're on the winning team because you're like, I knew that was going to happen. Like, I knew that was going to
I
happen.
knew we were gonna win.
Yeah. Sorry, quick
Nice.
tangent on sports betting.
Yeah, no, definitely.
What do you got for your deep dive?
Yeah, my deep dive here comes from another TikTok I saw. And I don't know if this happens for you or for you guys listening, but like I get these TikToks that are like websites you should know on my For You page. So like the dude, this one guy does like I don't know, he's like part 80 or something like that. That's one of the last time I saw. So this website that he showed it actually is pretty interesting because I know a lot of times I get asked like where I want to eat or like I'm traveling, like where the best places are. And like I do frivolous research into like Yelp reviews,
Mhm.
menus, pictures. And a lot of times it works out well. I'm not saying I don't think I've ever picked a bad place, but like
Yeah.
there is this place called tasteatlas.com and it shows you like restaurants, recipes, traditional food, best foods from, and you can explore it as a map.
What? Okay.
So you can like pretty much like drag and
Oh
drop. There's like
shit.
pictures. I think it depends on like who's submitting and like reviewing it.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I think it's more traditional that way. Like people don't forget like the heritage of like food from Slovakia or like food from
Yeah.
Spain or like and you can even drill down to like the city. I think is like you
This
can
is
like zoom
really
into
yeah,
the city and see like where you can go.
I just looked up Chicago and it lists like some of the best known Chicago, originally from Chicago foods, like Chicago style deep dish pizza, Italian beef,
Yeah, like
Chicago
what
thin
kind
crust
of food you
pizza.
should try and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It
So
may
it's
not
like
necessarily be restaurants, I think, but I think it more so it's like
no, it's like what type of, well, it's also lists like it listed like Luminati's and it like gives you options. But
yeah,
like this is a cool thing. Like I'm think like immediately top of oh my God. Sorry, I'll explain why I made that face in a sec. But one of the
some
things
weird pop up or something.
yeah. Yeah, I'd be like Tyler's sending me to weird websites. No,
Yeah.
but one of the things that when you said that, I was like, oh shit, well, we're going to Seattle and Portland. So I was like curious. And the reason I made that face is there's this thing called a Seattle dog, and I'm wondering
It's like
what's on it.
sauerkraut and something,
It's like I
probably.
like sour. Oh, so it's oh yeah, dude. Okay, I'm glad I made this face. The picture does not look appetizing, and it is a variety of a hot dog consisting of a bun, obviously, sausage, and that. But this is the gross part. It's topped with cream cheese. Like it's just a weird
Oh
combo:
yeah.
cream cheese, barbecue sauce, cabbage, and a large. I like grilled onions, but a large amount of grilled onions.
I'm not a big I'm not a big fan of
And
grilled
it's a,
onions.
and the thing that's weird. No, so you think that's gross already? There's also varieties. So anything you can add like toppings such as pico de gallo, bacon, pickles, or mustard. And I'm like, how
I
many
mean
different?
that doesn't surprise me. Like
But like,
those
how
toppings
many?
honestly don't surprise me.
It sounds like a lot going on. So that's why. And
Yeah.
the
I
picture
mean, we
does
come
not.
from the hot dog of a
The
lot
picture
going on.
doesn't.
So
Yeah, the picture doesn't do it. Maybe the picture doesn't do it justice. I don't know. But like, that's the first
maybe
thing
you'll
when
have
I
to
looked
try
up.
one when we get out there.
Yeah, that's the first thing I saw when I looked up Seattle, and I was like, I don't know, we'll see. It
Yeah.
says there's 5 other options, but I can't. This is a cool app though, or website. So
Yeah. No, definitely. It's really interesting. So
good
props to
find.
that guy, whoever he was, the sites you should know guy. So
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if this guy covered. This just made me think of it, but I like. I don't know if I probably should use this more, but there's a site where you can like put in what ingredients you have from an alcohol, like so what drinks you have from an alcohol perspective, so like the different like vodka or tequila or whatever drinks you have, and then
Oh
any
yeah, yeah.
like additional like chasers or anything that you would potentially put into a drink.
Mixers,
Yeah, and it will give you a list of like all these
the
different types
drinks you
of
can
drinks you can
make.
make, and I was like, that's pretty cool. But
Yeah,
which is a pretty like like when you think about it, kind of a simple idea for a
you just
website
need the
because you
data.
just need a database. Like thinking of like when we're like in our like OMIS classes,
Well,
like
that, but like you need to know like every single combination or like
yeah, I
keep
guess that's
adding.
true. You'll just keep, yeah, you'll have to keep adding. But yeah, if you like maybe you have a way for like users to submit, but then they could fuck it up. And then it's like, what if like someone just put in like
It's
all
like
this random shit?
Wikipedia.
Yeah. It's like Wikipedia. Then this is like now a rabbit hole of just
Now
a
we're just
mess.
asking for people to get donate money the whole time, and that's it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't know. That is one thing that I noticed. I guess at a certain point, like are they just going to not be able to be a site?
No, they just won't have anyone like checking it or fact checking it.
Oh, that's what it means. Okay. Well, I mean, I already don't think Wikipedia is necessarily super like I'll use it maybe as an initial source, but like you
I
click
mostly use it for like entertainment, like looking up where this person went to high school or
yeah,
something like that.
exactly. Like I don't actually look at there and be like, oh, you know what? If it's on Wikipedia, this is for real.
I kind of
100%
do though
truth.
sometimes, not gonna lie. But
100% truth though. Like you're never like reading something you're like somewhat skeptical.
yeah, they could be like this conspiracy theory about this actor happened. I'll be like, damn, that's crazy. I'll take it for like the word of the Bible right there. I'm like, wow, dude, fuck that actor. Sexual assault cases, fuck
Yeah,
him.
for those of you listening, time to edit some Wikipedia articles and send Ty. Be like, dude, did you see this? This is crazy.
Yeah. Do you see
Oh,
that Matt Damon said fuck Tyler Greenwood? Like, damn,
like, I
dude.
didn't even know who he was.
Fuck Matt Damon.
That's so funny. Yeah, that's hilarious. All right, so 4 p.m. meeting of the week. What did you have?
Yeah, so as we all know, we have our puppy Enzo.
Hmm.
And recently he's been doing very well with going to bed at night. And I've been trying to I have been setting alarms 3 hours, 3 4 hours each, like intervals to like get up and take him out each night.
You are like a
And
full-time parent, by the way. But by doing that, you're like wake up in the middle of the night and be like, let me go take care of the little. I mean, it's obviously a puppy, but like, let me go take care of the kid, make sure he's
it literally
okay.
is.
Like,
It
it's
literally is like
insane.
being a parent. It's like, well, from what I know, trust me, I'm not no experience had over here. But yeah, so like I don't know what's happening. And Nancy, my girlfriend, swears that like I'm getting up and like turning off my alarm and then going back to bed. But like I'll set 3 alarms like at night, and I just like I'll wake up and they're all turned off, and like I like I wake up at like whatever time, and like it's not like bad because Enzo, like the puppy, still wakes me up at night when he cries. Like he has to go
Yeah.
out and he'll cry, and like that wakes me up because like I'll be like, oh, I gotta go take care of that. But like I don't know what it is, but my alarms are just not working. They're not cutting it. They're like not doing
So you're
anything.
not. It's not like because I've done this before and it's really fucked me up. And like I'm like
Set them at
super
PM.
anal. Yeah, I'll accidentally do PM. So
Yeah.
that's not what happened.
No, dude, I've done it like this has been like the eighth night in a row that it's happened or something like that. And I'm just like, dude, what? And I don't know if it's like maybe I need to use like a different sound or maybe I need to use like a real alarm clock or something. I use my phone.
Yeah,
So
I that's what I use. I just use my phone. I think like it's been a while since I've had like an
maybe I
actual alarm clock. Like maybe like
yeah,
middle school.
yeah, literally. Maybe I think maybe what it is like I just like halfway like awake, just turn off the alarm and like go right to bed.
Dude, I definitely. So the stupid part, like, and this is like you must do the same thing, I'm guessing, because otherwise I don't know how this is happening. But like I love how on the iPhone when you have set alarms, like the snooze button is huge, but then on the
Yeah,
bottom there's
it's
this
like the
like turn
stop.
off
It
alarm,
pisses me off,
and
dude.
I hate it because my dumbass in the morning
It's the
knows
snooze.
to not hit the snooze button because if I hit the snooze button, that's going to go off in 5 minutes. So I'll hit the turn
Yeah.
off, and then I'm fucked.
Then I
So
set
like
another alarm 5 minutes later.
exactly. So like what I have to do, but knowing I'm going to do that when I'm super tired. So I set like 5 alarms. But the problem is I every once in a while, maybe I'll like forget to set the fifth one and I'll like fall back asleep and like, oh yeah, I've got one more, turn off. And then I'm like,
Yeah, I do
I'll
that
wake up.
too.
I'm like, dude, I needed to be up like 45 minutes ago, an hour ago. Like, what the fuck happened alarm? I'll look it up and I'll be like, either one, I didn't set it, or two, it's like, oh shit, my like 8 o'clock one was 8 p.m. And I'm like, fuck, dude. And now I'm like running out of
Yeah.
bed. I'm like, time to like, yeah, it just,
No,
oh God.
I'm lucky that enough that I've been waking up like early because like Enzo gets me up or I fall back
Yeah.
asleep and I usually wake up around like 9. So I've been pretty lucky with that. But like I'm worried about the time that I'm gonna have to like have a meeting at 9 and I'm like not gonna be up or
Yeah.
something. And then it's
Yeah.
like, oh no.
Yeah. I will say that like one of the, I mean, I've loved the big windows and all that stuff in my apartment. And one of the huge, like, originally I was like, oh shit, this might get annoying. But on weekends I can just put the blinds down because like the sun rises in obviously in the east. So like it's coming into my window. So like super bright. On the weekends, I'll just put my blinds down so like I can just sleep in. It doesn't bother me. But
Yeah.
during the week, like it's kind of nice because I don't want to test this theory out, but I'm pretty sure if I didn't set my alarm, I would be able to wake up at like 7:30, 8 o'clock at the very latest because of the sun. Like it's one of those things where like obviously like I'm not like jumping out of bed like let's go, but I'm like at least starting to wake up to where like by the time the alarm goes off, like sometimes I'll wake up before my alarm, which is one of the best feelings because then you can like, oh, free sleep. I can go back to sleep for like 30 minutes. So
Yeah,
that's
no,
one
I
of the
think
nice things.
around 7:30 when the sun like gets into our room, Enzo's like, it's breakfast time and like doesn't want to sit still in his cage. So no matter what, I'll get up then. But then Nancy takes him out and I fall right back asleep, and that's the dangerous part. So
Yeah, that's the part where it gets to where you're like, oh, I'll just well the bad part is even if you know it's your last alarm, sometimes it'll just be, oh, I'm just gonna lay down for like 2 minutes and then I'll get out. And then it's like
you open your eyes and you're
you
like, oh
open your eyes,
shit,
it's like, dude, it's
it's been
been
an
like
hour.
it's not yeah, it's been an hour. Like what the fuck? So it can be dangerous. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's
What
got to be what you're doing is not hitting the snooze. I just wish that my dumbass didn't train myself to like know that. Like I wish I hit the snooze. I
yeah.
wish I was one of those people
I
who could
wish
just
like
set
my
my
alarm was
alarm.
honestly louder. I mean, it might annoy other people, but like I almost wish for like that cartoon ding 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 like alarm clock because like that's probably what I'll need.
What you got to do is get one of those like Bluetooth speakers and have it connected to your phone and just have it right there and just blare in your ear.
Yeah.
That'll wake you up for sure. I'm sure Nancy would love that.
Yeah, and then so the whole family would be pissed.
Oh man, everyone's gonna be pumped. So okay, so my 4 p.m. meeting of the week. So mine is kind of stupid, but so I was in the like I mentioned, I was in the burbs this past weekend golfing and brother's birthday and all that stuff. And so I'm on the train ride back and I'm like, oh shit, I don't know if I have my wallet. And so I'm like literally on the train rifling through my
I hate
uh
that feeling.
backpack and I'm like panicking. I mean, the one caveat I'll say is like I've got like Apple Pay and all that stuff, and like I've got my keys so I can get into my apartment, like all that stuff. But I didn't. I was like, shit, I don't have my wallet. Like, what the fuck? And so I'm freaking out, and it doesn't help when I text Gavin and Andy because they were over for the Bears game. I text my mom. I'm texting all those people who were at our house. I was like, yo, do you see my wallet? And all of them are coming back. No. I'm like, fuck. So I'm thinking like maybe I was like, I swear it wasn't in my pocket because I was wearing basketball shorts. I wouldn't have wanted to put it there. I would have put it straight in my backpack. So I'm like losing my mind. Like, dude, I probably look like a crazy person on this train because first of all, it's a very late train already. Like I think I left, it was like an 8:30 to like a 10 o'clock train. So it's super late on a Sunday night. I already am crazy over taking this train. I'm like one of 10 people maybe in the car, but I probably looked crazy because I have clothes in my backpack. So I'm like rifling through, like grabbing. People are probably like, what the fuck is wrong with this man? But I'm like literally like, dude, I literally went through each pocket of my backpack like 5 times. And I was
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah, that's how it
thinking
goes.
I was like, no, dude, I for sure missed it because I definitely put it in here. And lo and behold, I get a text from thank God. I got a text from my mom, not until it like this entire time. So probably like 2 hours, I didn't know where my wallet was. I get to my apartment around like 10:30. So that's like 2 hours since I've left. I'm like this entire time thinking my wallet. I was like, dude, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Starting to think like maybe I need to cancel my cards. Like, what's going on? So my brown wallet was apparently on top of the blanket in the extra bedroom that I was sleeping in, that had brown blanket. So it was like resting on there. And thankfully I wasn't the only one who missed it. Gavin said he checked that room as well. But I was like, damn, my stupid colorblind ass. I just couldn't see it.
Yeah.
And
That's hilarious.
so they're bringing, so we're going to the NIU Michigan game next weekend. So they're going to bring it up on Thursday or Friday. So I'll have my wallet. I don't really need it this week, the rest of the week, so I'll be fine. But God, I felt like a fucking idiot, and I was so pissed at myself.
Damn, that's rough.
For a second, I
Yeah,
thought I
man,
forgot my
I hate
keys
that
too,
feeling.
and I was like, I can't even get in my apartment. But thankfully, I did have my keys. So
Guess we're getting an Airbnb. Then
yeah,
I'm
dude, I
looking
was about to
now.
like, at this point, I'm just gonna sleep on the fucking train because I don't know what is gonna happen. So it was just a mess. Great start to the week.
Yeah, that sucks.
Gotta love it. But yeah, so that was my
Hopefully
4
we
p.m.
can
midweek.
move on from that, get to the comedic report, and get some
Yeah.
funniness and back in the podcast
Yeah.
there.
So my life isn't the only joke. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you want to start?
No, you go ahead.
So this one I literally sent to our group like literally like an hour ago, I think, and it cracked me up. So obviously football is back, so there's a lot of fun banter on Twitter in the sports world, and so there's this fan tweeting at the Cleveland Browns. So I'll read it and I'll read the exchange. At Browns, I know you guys lost, but is there any chance Owen could get a jersey? The Cleveland Browns account wanting to help out fans like, let's do it. Owen who? And then this account responds, Owen 1, let's go Steelers.
That was pretty funny. Dude. That had me laughing out loud, actually.
And then the next screenshot is the Browns blocked this person. I'm like, that's funny as fuck. Like the fact that like the Browns account was trying to do some good, like, oh, do you have like a son named Owen or something? It's like Owen 1, let's go Steelers. What a fucking funny tweet. Dude.
Yeah,
People
see, that was like
crack me
gold.
up.
That was like a great tweet.
Like the fucking like, oh my god, the fact that someone like thought through that, I'm like, that's funny
Yeah.
as hell. This next one is a TikTok, and the caption says, well, all right, I can't remember exactly what the audio is, so I guess we'll find out together. But the caption says, when you Google Alzheimer's and all the links are already purple. Oh, there might not be much audio.
Well, hold on on that. Hold on. Now, hold on.
I saw that. That is so funny.
So that's all it is, but it's just like when you Google the, like when you Google
Alzheimer's,
Alzheimer's, all the links are already purple. Like that's funny as fuck. Like that's like that dark humor, but it cracks me up. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a second, I've been here before. I just don't remember. I'm like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
People are just very clever. What do you got?
So there's this account on Twitter. It's called True, I guess, and they post pretty funny stuff if you've seen it. And this most recent one I've seen is just like, it's like some guy in a Spider-Man suit presenting to an audience, and like there's what is that called? Like a projector screen right behind them, and like they put obviously it's not actually there, but they like typed or captioned on the printer screen or projector screen. And it's Dove chocolate tastes way better than their soap. And that cracked me up because I was like, dude, that is so random that they made. Like, I don't know if they're the same company. I don't know if I'm just stupid right now, but like,
no, I don't think it's the same company, but the fact that they like connected the two to say,
and I was like, dude, that like has me dying laughing because
no way. Actually, now I want to check this. Dove chocolate and soap. It's a common search. There's no way.
Yeah.
Are two separate companies with the same trademark name Dove. Unilever owns Dove soap and is based in the UK. Dove chocolate is owned by Mars. Okay. So for anyone wondering,
dude,
but that's no.
Dove
that's
chocolate tastes better than their soap. I was like, damn, dude, it's like true, I guess.
That's hilarious.
So that just cracked me up when I saw it. And I have this TikTok here, which may not be very funny unless we all see it. But where'd it go? No, I lost it. Pretty much, it's like at a wedding. Oh, here we go. It's at a wedding. It has like 12.6 million views. And it says the DJ got him good. And it's like this guy dancing and he's like about to start getting it. And I feel like this is like the story of my life with like DJs nowadays. But like, here, I'll just play it for you. And it's pretty. It's like turned down for what, but then like turns into Mamma Mia.
He thought it was about to do something else. Then oh damn.
I love the way he died.
Just the disappointment. The disappointment. That was
It
hilarious.
cracks me up because I'm like, damn, dude, that'd be too true.
Yeah, because you're just like, oh, dude, I know this song.
Just
And then
play
it's
this
just like,
song.
I think that happened to me. Oh God. I think it might have been like one of the last times I went out in the city that it was starting to play the wobble. I was like, dude, let's fucking go. The
Yeah,
wild
dude,
thing.
they
And
do
then
that
it like
shit all
immediately
the time.
switched. And I'm like,
That's like the most like
fuck you.
sampled song nowadays for DJs.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Choose a different song.
Yeah, really.
Okay, so I guess we can get into our new segment, Ask Us Anything. And let's see what we got. Okay, so this first one from Gavin is kind of fucking wild. He did preface it with the fact that I forgot where he said he heard this from, but he's like, I'm gonna ask you guys, and we did say ask us anything. So I have no idea what my answer to this question is gonna be. So I'm gonna be very curious how you react. If you had to move your asshole to anywhere else on your body, where would you move it and why?
Back of the knee, and always wear pants.
Oh damn, you were quick with that.
Yeah, there'd be nowhere else to put it. I'm not gonna sit on. I'm not gonna like step on it on my foot. I'm not gonna have it showing it to people on my face or whatever. Back of the knee. Always wear pants. That's the story of it. How it goes now. Or like tape up your knee, and then when you want to go, untape it.
Yeah, that's actually like I don't know how I can answer better than that. Like that was like very well thought out.
Yeah,
Damn, you've like put some. I mean, you
that's
probably
what I had to
yeah.
put the work in. But no, I mean, like I just thought about like where it would be like. Obviously, it'd still be kind of fucking hard to take a shit then, but like, fuck it, dude.
Just get
Like
flexible.
anywhere else would be shitty, and then like you don't want to step on your
No
asshole
pun
the entire
intended.
day. Yeah, literally, you don't want to step on your asshole the entire day. That's I was thinking like bottom of the foot would be good, but I'm
Yeah,
like,
but then yeah, it'd be like that shit would be sore, dude. You're just fucking
That's right,
stomping, dude.
you step on the wrong thing, dude.
It's gonna be a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I feel like that. I don't know where else you'd even go. Yeah, you want it to be kind of a spot that'd be a little hidden. You don't want it to be like just
Maybe like
hanging
your
out there.
hip, like
Yeah,
your
hip.
waistline, but like that'd be kind of
Yeah.
weird too.
You better. Oh, dude.
Your armpit.
It would suck for like swimming. Your armpit. Oh man. There's no good answer.
Yeah.
There's no good answer. I feel like back of the knee though, that's pretty solid. You could just wear pants and just be like, someone like, oh, you want to go swimming? I don't know how to swim.
Yeah. I've never
Simple
been
as
in
that.
water.
Be like, or I'll wear be like, oh, why are you wearing a knee brace? Be like, really bad injury.
That's right. I used to
Back
be
from high
swimmer.
school. Oh man. Would make taking like if you like need to go to the bathroom in the lake and you need to go number 2, dude, make it that super easy.
That's
Just
right. You
swim.
stand in the shallow end, dude. You're good.
Oh man. God damn it. What a question from Gavin. I'm sure he's going to be excited to hear our answer for that. The next one is definitely targeted at you from Andy. Did Tottenham win on Saturday?
My boss commented on this too. It's pretty funny. But no, they did not win. They had their first loss of the season here. So undefeated streak is over. And they lost 3-0 to Crystal Palace.
Yeah, Andy's club.
Golden
So
Eagles are soaring.
So your manager called you out on that?
Yeah, he's an Arsenal fan, and I've been
That's
talking
right.
to him about how like Arsenal haven't won a single game.
So he probably was like quick to.
Yeah, he was like he was like how I was asked him how it was this weekend when he's like Arsenal finally got a win, and he's like and Tottenham lost, and I was like yeah, can't forget that.
That's hilarious. And then the last question for this episode: what is the best? Again from Andy. What is the best drink to have after work?
To me recently it's just been like a craft beer. So like
Craft beer.
you know, if you can like try something new, you have to like you're waiting for it in the fridge to try it all day. That like you bought it yesterday or bought it this weekend, and yeah, that's probably it. Like
That's
I could obviously not gonna drink during work, but as soon as
Yeah.
you get off, it's been cold in the fridge, been chilling,
Game
you
time.
crack it open. I guess it could be like a Busch Light too, but like
Yeah.
I find myself not being able to find that out here.
Yeah. I mean, obviously can't go wrong with a beer, but I would say like one of the things like after work, especially if I'm just trying to like chill and I've got like nothing else going on. Like I'll do the ice ball and pour some Woodford Reserve in a glass.
Yeah.
That's super nice. And just like chill and you can sip on it and throw on some split gate or whatever we're doing that day. Prime way to spend after work. I'd say like right now that would be my like go-to.
That is true. I just like the ease of just grabbing a can.
Yeah, I know. If trust me, like, and actually, this is a good reminder. I think I have to like do the refill of the ice tray
Ice
or whatever,
cubes, yeah.
because that always
The
pisses
balls,
me
yeah.
off when I like, because I love having the ice balls in the whiskey. Like when you pour
Oh,
whiskey
yeah.
over the ice ball, it's like changes the game. But it pisses me off when I like forget to like refill it,
You have
and
to
I'm
use the
like,
cubes.
and like I gotta use the
Like
cubes like a fucking
fucking
loser.
peasant, dude. The king doesn't drink whiskey
Yeah, I
with
know.
cubes.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, that's the worst. That's definitely the worst. Be like, guess I'm not drinking whiskey today.
Right.
Oh
All right.
man. Thanks for submitting your questions. We'll definitely have that for every episode going forward. So definitely keep submitting those.
Yeah. Submit them again on anywhere you can. Most
Yeah.
of the times we have a place for it on Instagram, but if you can, and Twitter, right?
Yeah, Twitter. Honestly, like we'll make sure to post it before every episode, but that's again, don't hesitate. Like just DM us throughout the week if you just randomly like, oh, this would be a good question to ask him. Clearly, as you can tell from the question Gavin asked, you literally can ask us anything. So
We'll
no
answer
holds
anything.
bars. No holds bars.
And I'll prepare for it too.
Exactly. Yeah, so I guess we can get into our 5v5 of jobs we wish we had.
Definitely. Do you know who went first?
I'm trying to remember. Oh, you went first last week because you had the rushing process for fraternity sorority. So I'm gonna go with my very first pick. I think is a very common one for kids growing up watching sports. I'm gonna go with professional athlete.
Yeah. Are you doing like your own dream jobs or just like
No,
everyone?
I'm by most of these I'm by no means qualified for.
Well, I mean, like when you were younger, this is what you wanted.
Oh yeah, I would say so. I'd say ish. Well, for some of them, I think some of them I'll clarify if it was or not.
I did all based on what I wanted. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess one of them could be cool. Like one of them, I'd be like, "Oh, dude, that'd be sick," and I'd love to do that. But I'm by no means talented, and in this aspect, I would not be able to. So I would say
yeah,
yes.
but like when I wish I had it, it would be like
Yeah, no, okay. So then I will say that yes, these are jobs I wish I had.
Okay.
But I mean, I guess for most of these or like all of these, not qualified or talented enough to do these.
Okay.
Except professional athlete, obviously. Like I could probably play on the Cubs right now. They're pretty trash.
Sure, dude. Or the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears.
I'll probably have to go with an actor or actress.
That's solid. I had that on my list. I had that on my list. I'm between two. I am gonna go, and this is probably gonna like alienate my I'm not gonna probably get a lot of votes if people don't like sports. My next pick is being like a front office in a sports team, like a GM. Basically, you get to play fantasy football or fantasy baseball, and that's your job. I mean, granted, you have to be good at it or you're gonna lose your job, but like what's to stop me from like owning the bull? Like if I was like in charge of the Bulls and I'm just gonna trade for the best, like just go all in for like one player. Like I'll trade you every single person in all my future draft picks for Luka Doncic. Nothing's stopping me.
Jesus. Yeah, that's a good one. I think mine when I was thinking about this too, it'd be like a singer,
Yeah,
or like musical artist.
Yeah, I put musician, like a singer, musician.
Be a good one.
That was a good one. Yeah, so yours is it's funny because we both went very like I had all those on my list, and I'm sure you probably had some of the ones I said, but we both definitely went two very different directions. You went the more like theatrical, like artsy route, and I was like sports. I'm between two. I think okay, so like the one thing, okay, I'm gonna let you decide if these are the same. I didn't really know how to describe, like, would you say a podcaster and a YouTuber are the same? Or would you
content creator?
Content creator. All right, then I'll say content creator, which is more like a recent one.
I mean, I guess like some people would not consider them the same, but like you're creating content either way. So
yeah,
you can like upload your podcast to YouTube and now you're a YouTuber.
Yeah, true.
And you can like upload your audio from your YouTube to your podcast, and now
Yeah.
you're a podcaster.
True. I guess what I'll like clarify though, like, so there's another section that I don't, if I say content creator, I feel like it covers too many bases, because there's one thing in particular that I think like is probably on your list that I don't want to take over with this. Is I was specifically talking about like a podcast, like between podcast and YouTube, like that would be really cool.
Yeah. My third one is gonna do well.
It's
I
different.
guess for this one,
Assuming you're saying what I'm thinking you're gonna say.
no, because you picked like professional athlete, and I was gonna say more like your golf pro, like trainer, golf professional. Like you're like,
Oh, that's cool.
I guess he like can compete in the open, but like you like help out at the golf course and stuff like that. You like train people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. A golf trainer.
PGA certified.
Solid. I thought you were gonna say a video game streamer.
Oh, I did not. I don't even have that on my list. That's funny.
I'm shocked. That's what I was getting at when I said content creator. Let's see. I won't go that route because it's pretty similar to my other one. Du- 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 du. I will go. Okay, I'm gonna go journalist. I think that'd be cool.
That would be fun.
Like, I think, yeah, I mean, again, probably like more like a sports journalist, but I think journalism in general would be really cool. And I also thought it like that'd be would have been a cool major, but doesn't pay the big bucks. Got to be part of the corporate machine.
That's right. My fourth one is probably gonna be a little biased, but I would have to say a golden retriever breeder. So
There you
AKC
go.
certified too.
You just you probably just won with that one.
Just because, dude, you can make quite a bit of money for breeding golden. Dude, 3K a pop for a puppy. You have 8 puppies in a litter, like this one that we just looked at. That's $24,000 for a litter that you just made.
That's
I mean,
pretty
there's
nuts.
taxes and stuff like that, but like you just made 24K right there.
That's pretty nuts.
And a dog can have a baby like every like 2 months, I think. But obviously, you need to like let them rest. I'm not saying like just keep them going,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
you know, you have like different goldens or like different males, different females. Like, oh, dude,
No, that'd be a good one.
and maybe trainer. Like you throw that in there. That way, it's not just like
That's
breeding.
That's solid. I am going to go with. I'm gonna go. Well, okay. I don't. Okay, if I say a coach, I should probably specify the sport, right? Because coach is very broad.
Yeah, you can be a life coach.
Yeah, I was gonna say basketball coach.
Nice. I had teacher slash coach. Like, I'd want to be like
Yeah, I
a
had
high school
as well.
teacher, like track coach.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Now, I think I'm gonna go a little more. Like, if I could be good at this, that'd be amazing. But like, just like a medical doctor, like that'd be like
Oh yeah.
obviously not one of the hardest jobs, out there. But if I could, that'd be so cool to be a doctor helping people. So,
Wait, should I
Yeah.
have clarified like teacher slash coach? Because that's kind of like what I was meaning, or I don't know if that is the same.
were you thinking like basketball coach of like a professional team or like basketball coach of like a high school team?
I was thinking like I
Because
could
those are
teach.
very different professions.
Yeah, a little bit. No, I was thinking like because like the front office was like professional, obviously professional athlete, professional. But I was thinking more like teacher coach. Like I'm like like a high school basketball coach.
Yeah, then probably like teacher coach.
Teacher
Because
coach.
I literally had teacher slash coach. as,
That's
like,
yeah,
one of
no,
my
that's
things on my list.
yeah, that's kind of that's what I had. But I was trying to think of like the
Teach,
only
like,
thing.
driver's ed or something.
Yeah, I honestly feel like teaching math could be cool, but maybe not super essential.
I would have did like the business classes. That's what I thought
Ooh,
about.
that would be cool. That would be cool. I also
Maybe
guess I
career
could-
change in the future.
Well, again, it's like so hard because it's like you
they make no money.
make like no money.
You have
And
no
I also
PTO,
like
but you have the summers off.
yeah. It's tough.
And it's not all sunshine and rainbows dealing with kids. So
Yeah. Oh, absolutely not. But it's also not sunshines and rainbows with corporate.
that's very true. It's not like the movies.
We're like, I feel like, again, with the last few episodes, we've been like contemplating career changes. I feel like by the time we get to the end,
Yeah, gotta
it
keep
is what it
gotta keep the
is.
viewers on their toes.
Yeah, exactly. You never know what's going to come. So what are some that we missed?
Yeah, I just had a bunch from like what I wanted to be when I was younger, like professional break dancer, park
Oh, that's
ranger.
cool. Park
Like
ranger, I feel like I could see that. I could
I
see
would love to
that.
be a park ranger.
I,
Like a surf skate ski shop owner, just
yeah.
like one of those things, like chill, relaxing, but like helping people like have fun. Then I had like a physicist, just because like physics really like interests me. And if I
Mhm.
could understand it more, then like
That'd be
definitely I
cool.
would love to get involved with that. But and then my last one was an archaeologist, something like where you're like going to other cultures and like experiencing like the trying to find like hidden gems of the past or something like that from like their cultures.
That's cool.
Or
I
anthropologist, I think it is.
I had a sports analyst like on ESPN or something like that. I mentioned earlier video game streamer, kind of similar vein as journalist. I put author. Uh, I put also like a host of a TV show. Like that would be kind of cool. Or like I mean, I guess on a TV show, but I don't think that necessarily would be like a
I've been an
career.
actor.
Yeah. Well, no, not like an actor. I was thinking more like like a
Yeah,
host of like a
Survivor.
yeah, like host of like a reality TV show could be
I
kind of
see.
cool. Not like one of the crazy like bachelor
Contestant.
ones. Like not I wasn't thinking like that vein. I was more so thinking like the survivor type.
Jason's the next bachelor.
Yeah, no. Um and then yeah, I guess that is the last one I had on here. So I guess we can recap our five.
Yeah, so mine was actor, musical artist, PGA pro, golden retriever, breeder, trainer, and then a medical doctor.
And then I had professional athlete, front office for sports, like a GM. I had a podcast, YouTube, I guess content creator, we can say, and then journalist, and then a teacher or coach.
Nice. So that is our 5v5 of jobs we wish we had. We had
Love
a
our current
pretty,
jobs though.
yeah, that's right.
Gotta
Wouldn't
emphasize.
dream of it any other
Yeah,
way though.
be like
So
these are all secondary in comparison. Like you're telling me if you could
we're living a movie right now. So
if the Cubs offered me a position on their team tomorrow, I'd be like, no, sorry, too committed.
that's right. Already got that guaranteed salary. So, but yeah, we hope you enjoyed this little comparison we had between the real life and movie life of Office Spaces, and maybe you see there's some similarities or differences, or maybe there's some things that we missed. Let us know as always, as well as check out our YouTube channel. I know there's an algorithm out there that recommends it for other people that may be looking at podcasts or YouTube videos in our same vein. And if you subscribe or like it, gets us more of a chance to reach out to new people. So if you could go do that for us, that'd be great. If you like it, yeah, that's pretty much it. And we hope to see you in the next one.